Welcome to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25 Media. We feature top founders, executives, and business leaders from all over the world.
Chad Franzen here, co-host for this show where we feature top restaurateurs, investors, and business leaders. This is part of our SpotOn Series. SpotOn has the best-in-class payment platform for retail, and they have a flagship solution called SpotOn Restaurant, where they combine marketing, software, and payments all in one. They've served everyone from larger chains like Dairy Queen and Subway to small mom-and-pop restaurants. To learn more, go to SpotOn.com. This episode is brought to you by Rise 25. We help B2B businesses to get ROI, clients, referrals, and strategic partnerships through Done For You podcasts. If you have a B2B business and want to build great relationships with clients, referral partners, and thought leaders in your space, there's no better way to do it than through podcasts and content marketing. To learn more, go to rise25.com or email us at support@rise25media.com. George Pertesis is co-owner of Truly Greek in Norwalk, Connecticut, and Urban Greek in Shelton, Connecticut. He is a 100% Greek American, which plays a big part in his upbringing in the restaurant business. He loves what he does and how the landscape of the restaurant industry has changed over the last few years. Hey, George, thanks for joining me today. How are you?
Thank you. It's my pleasure. How are you today, Chad?
Good, thanks. Appreciate your time. Hey, tell me about how you got started in the restaurant industry.
So back in 2016, I graduated from Fairfield University. And at the time, I was studying for my CPA exam, but there was a TV show called The Prophet, and Marcus Lemonis was the host. And one of the episodes was he went to a struggling Yido concept out in Philadelphia, and he gave them an investment in exchange for rebranding everything his way and bringing it nationwide through franchising. And that concept was called The Simple Greek. So when we first saw the episode with my father, we were very interested because we said, hey, there's not really much Yido concepts like that in America, because most of the Yidos people would find would be at diners or at like a Greek pizza restaurant. So we said, why don't we do it in the fast casual way? So we were very intrigued. We inquired about being a franchisee in the Connecticut market. And a few weeks later, we were on board and we met with Marcus Lemonis. It was a very exciting journey. We opened up in 2016 and we did very well for a couple of years. And then obviously COVID happened, but that's a whole nother story. And because of COVID, essentially they had to sell the company to another organization, a bigger entity. And because of that, we decided to opt out of that group and rebrand on our own. But definitely something we could discuss in this episode.
Sure. So tell me about each of those places. Tell me about Truly Greek and Urban Greek and what customers can expect when going to each of those.
So both of our concepts are build your own. So you can come in and customize your salad bowl or a grain bowl, and you can do that in a pita sandwich format. So basically you pick your base, you can choose your protein, your fresh vegetables or sauces, and you customize. So one Monday you can come in, you do a sandwich, and one Friday afternoon for dinner, you come in and you get a bowl. And we offer a lot of sides like Greek fries, avgolemono soup, spanakopita, desserts, and all that good stuff. And you can find the same at both Urban Greek and Truly Greek. And we also even offer a Greek market where we're bringing in Greek wines from Greece, Greek honey, Greek chocolate. And really, it's very difficult to source those items. So when people know that they could get it within seconds and delivered to their door, people are very excited about that. Because the big concentration of Greek people, you would normally find them in New York City, Chicago, Florida. So being in Connecticut and able to offer those products is definitely a big thing for customers.
How has your Greek heritage played a part in your restaurant journey?
It's huge. It's part of who we are. My grandfather specifically came over to America in the 1950s. Classic American dream story. Came here with not much in his pocket. Started out as a dishwasher at a Jewish diner. And the Jewish owners at the time, which they dominated the diner business, they saw the hard work ethic that my grandfather had. And they said, hey, we'd like to promote you to short order cook. And then they saw the potential there. And they said, why don't you become a manager? And then the Jewish people were very smart in this area to realize that, wow, there's definitely a lot of potential of these immigrants coming in from Greece. So why don't you ask your brothers to come? Why don't you ask your cousins to come? So little by little, my great uncles were coming over, their cousins, and they started working in the diner business. And eventually they started buying out these owners and becoming owners themselves. So growing up, my father eventually inherited the diner from his father. And growing up, I would be in the business, and it was very fascinating to me that they loved what they did. Like, they never got the Sunday scaries. They were very passionate about serving people and being in the hospitality business. And that kind of like was passed along to me. And, basically the diner was always a community hub. Like, everyone knew each other. Lawyers were coming in, doctors and regular community people. At nighttime, all the drunk people were coming in. And there's always stories behind that. And a lot of people know you, and it's like, hey, John, how you doing? John the Greek or George the Greek. And that's, we like that. And we like serving people. It's part of our, we call it philoxenia, which means opening up your arms to your home or to your business and treating people like they're your family. And that's big for who we are.
How did the Urban Greek come about?
So that's also another interesting story. So I met my wife through the Simple Greek, and she was interested in the show as well. So my father-in-law was like, hey, why don't you go check out the Simple Greek down in Norwalk, Connecticut? So she came down. I never met her. Well, we messaged each other, hey, come by. I'll show you the concept. And we were under construction. And at the time, my father-in-law was like, this is a great idea. Actually, he wasn't my father-in-law at the time, but he's like, I like this too. Like, let's maybe do something for my daughter. And then in 2020, he decided to open up his own version of the fast casual for his daughter, and then be married. So he was intrigued by the whole thing, and he decided to open up Urban Greek in Shelton, based on what he had seen with the Simple Greek. Great food cost numbers, labor, and all that good stuff.
Hey, how different is the restaurant industry, would you say, today than it was maybe 5 or 10 years ago?
I'll tell you, like when we first started, we only had like 1 or 2 distributors, which was nice. We never had to worry about comparing prices week over week and such. But now the difficulty is sourcing anything. Like, 1 week people are out of chicken, 1 week they're out of shrimp. So with that being said, you have to have like 4 or 5 broadline distributors on your cell phone. Like, you got to call the guys like, hey, what are you out of this week? And then they tell you, hey, we're out of this, this, and that. So now I have to call the other person up and ask them if they have it. So we've been seeing so many shortages. It's kind of it's a difficult thing. And I think it's not going to get any better, but it will get worse before things turn around. And I think that is the biggest challenge. But more importantly, the best part of the last 5 years of transformation is the technology. We used to be like 80% dine-in, 20% takeout. Now it's like 65% takeout and 35% dine-in. And I think that's a good thing for a lot of people. Less mistakes, more consistency, and very easy. Very streamlined.
What makes it prone to having less mistakes?
Less mistakes because everything is written out in front of you. Like, it's pretty self-explanatory. People say, for example, they order Greek fries and they don't want the feta. In the instructions, it'll say feta on the side in nice big letters. But perhaps in the store, once in a while, you have customers coming in, they're rude, they're on their cell phone, they're trying to place orders, they're asking people, hey, well, what was it that you wanted? And like, there's always that confusion, and the pita's forgotten, the sauce is forgotten on the side, and there's always that like human error, right? But with technology, everything is straightforward. It's great. And that goes along with the third-party deliveries, the Ubers, the Grubhubs, the DoorDashes, all that good stuff.
Are there ways that you think the restaurant industry could be more efficient?
Definitely through technology. So we use Toast POS, which has been a fantastic partner of ours. We're different needs about what they're expanding into. They're expanding into Toast Capital. They're expanding into Toast Waitlist. They're expanding into scheduling, where team members can opt into the app. They can swap shifts and stuff, so you're not really involved. So I don't have to deal with that headache of employees texting me, hey, I'm sorry, last minute, I can't work tonight. So you can direct them to go on the app and say, hey, figure out a way to communicate with your other staff members and perhaps find coverage for your shift. That's a great feature. They just launched it. We're in the beta stage. I think they'll probably even make it even better. And then also the payroll. All the clock ins, the clock outs, Everything is put into a document, and then you send that over to your payroll provider, and they have all the information they need, all the hours they work, the dollar amount, all that good stuff. And we've seen that transformation in the last 3 years, and I think it's only going to get better.
What is it about the restaurant industry that you find particularly enjoyable?
The people. I love interacting with people. You have all walks of life coming in, different industries that people work in, different stories, and you become like friends. Sometimes I say I see my customers more than my wife and my friends too. So they're part of who you are. It's nice. And it becomes like a family. And that's the best part.
What are
Definitely
your goals? Oh, I'm sorry. What are your goals for your restaurants here coming up in the future?
Definitely expanding. Now that with this crisis, I always tell people that. Hold on, I think someone's calling me over here. Yep. So the biggest challenge people would say was COVID, but I really think the challenge right now is rising food costs and labor issues going on in the industry. So with that being said, there will be a lot of closures in the next few months. So I consider that a second generation space that's available. The proper equipment's already in there, the walk-in, the freezers, the fridges, the hood system, the equipment and everything. So with someone's failure could be an opportunity for someone. And I think we're going to see a lot of that. And we're very patient people. And if the right opportunity presents itself, we're going to hop on it for sure.
So when you say expansion, you're talking about just opening up more stores that you own, or are you looking to franchise?
In the beginning, we'd probably open up like another 2 or 3 units to get the operation, like the method of operation together and make sure that we have everything going. But like I said, with like all the difficulties with the broadline distributors, it's tough to create contracted pricing and all that stuff because of how much of a, part of my friend shit show is out there. So I think when things settle down, when the dust settles, maybe we can revisit that discussion and see like, hey, like we have something good going here. And let's see if we can inquire about having some people become franchisees. And because we were franchisees at one point, we understand what it's like from both sides, both from the franchisee and the franchisor. I think we have something good.
Is there a difference in terms of the operations between Truly Greek and Urban Greek?
Not so much. My father-in-law taught me a few things to put into our store, and we showed them a few things as well. But you're always learning, and that's the best part. Like every time we're finding new ways to become more efficient, and we share that with each other, and it only gets better. And I'm starting to see a lot of distributors getting into the efficiency of food. So, for example, we used to like shred the kale by ourselves. The romaine, we used to chop it up ourselves. Now we're seeing like ready to go bags, chopped up romaine, chopped up kale, chopped up potatoes to just put in the fryer, like ready to go stuff, RTU, and it just makes everything much easier.
What do you think is maybe the key to operating 2 separate locations at a standard that you want?
Proper training. You have to let it know. You have to let it be known to your staff and employees what you expect, what your standards are, and for them to consistently follow through with everything in the consistency. So once you have that consistency, customers notice it. They know whether they come on a Monday or Thursday, they're getting that same bowl at the right temperature, at the right, the way they like it. So they're not going to expect anything different. So I think consistency and training people the right way to do things is the right way to go. And having everything printed out, laminated and put it everywhere you could. So constantly reiterating your staff members to offer add-ons. Hey, would you like a fry? Would you like a soda? And those are the high margin items. So by doing so, you're getting your food costs down and making yourself a better operation, profitable and all that.
I have one more question for you, but first tell me how people can find out more about both Truly Greek and Urban Greek.
So you can visit us on our website, urbangreekct, as in Connecticut.com, and the same for Truly Greek, trulygreekct.com. And you can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, also Urban Greek CT and Truly Greek CT.
Final question for you. If you were to go to one of those two restaurants, Truly Greek or Urban Greek as a customer, what would be kind of your like go-to item?
Go-to item is probably going with our traditional pita sandwich, where you can get like half and half mix of the chicken, the lamb, add both of those proteins on the sandwich, and perhaps getting some pickled onions, which is a more modern flair of a classic red onion, adding some feta on there, a little spring mix as well, and getting that like nutritional value through your greens, your protein, and your carb all in once. So every bite you take in, you're getting something good.
Okay, great. Hey, George, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chad.
So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Top Business Leaders Show, powered by Rise 25. Visit rise25.com to check out more episodes of the show and to learn more about how you can start your own podcast.